So we're trying to live as sustainably as possible here in the woodland, and part of that, for us anyway, means trying to grow as much as we can. It's kind of new to us. We've not really grown much before in the past, so it's kind of a learning curve. So we decided to buy a polytunnel, and this is where we're going to put it. The polytunnel we got is from Northern Polytunnels. It's pretty good. It's all metal, no wood in it at all, and it's got double aluminium sliding doors at each end and side vents, and it's 4.5 meters wide by 16.5 meters long. So this is the pad I've made for it, and all this soil I had to move from the build site over there. This was all from the workshop foundation and scraping around the house. This is all soil from over there. So I've had to move it with the tractor, trailer and digger. I think it was about 23 loads to make up this. I think this is just about big enough. Can't quite build it just yet. Can't quite install it just yet on this. This is made up soil, so it needs a bit of time to compact. And we'll clean up the levels a little bit. They're a bit rutty at the moment, but it's a good start point. It's a long ways this way, and it's south facing. That's pretty much south there. It's parallel with the last part of the house, because that's an east facing bedroom window, and so the wall is south facing. So it's a good spot for it, and it's alongside the track, so we can move stuff in and out quite easily with wheelbarrows and things like that, and get a water line in from the rainwater harvesting that we've got planned. It's going to be so warm in there, I suspect Gillian will have a little armchair, and we might find her asleep some afternoons. And we've even started growing some vegetables in the cabin. Tense morning this morning, and the weather gods have smiled, which is really nice. We've got the big crane coming. It's big, and it's going to put in the master bed windows finally, the last windows. And so to help that crane work, I've had to make 2 extra pads. The original pad was here, and this was the line of it here, so I've had to make some more on this side to carry these road plates. These 18mm thick steel should hopefully spread the load a little bit. Here's hoping, because the crane has to lift the windows, which each, I think, about 250 kilograms, has to lift them about 35 meters and about 6-7 meters in the air as well. So it's quite a lot of load there. I'm a little bit worried about it, because this is a new pad that I made last week. Yeah, hopefully it'll be all right. Worried. So I had 20 tons of 6F5 delivered, and then 20 tons of MOT1, and that wasn't quite enough, so I had to leave this space in the middle to keep the levels either side. But I checked with the crane people, they're fine with that. As long as you've got at least half a metre at the either side of the road plate, should be all right. Because it's a 10-metre long crane, so this area in the middle is kind of redundant really. So that saved a bit of stone. That's where the windows are going to go, over there. 3 full height, triple glazed, sporting a new DJI mic as well. Hopefully this one won't add to the mic graveyard. There's a couple out there somewhere behind me. We did a test run just without any windows, and the pad compressed a little bit, and the jib, the crane jib, which was at full extension, moved 0.4 degrees. That's okay, they tell me, but crucially it stopped moving, so I'm very pleased about that, of course. The construction team are well out of the way.
Oh, mate, have you got it?
So we finally got all the windows in, which is really nice. The slidey doors don't fit still. I'm working on that. I don't mind admitting that getting the crane in and having that work was probably the most stressful bit of this operation so far, for me anyway. I was really quite worried about that, but it's worked. Scaffolding is coming down shortly, so that's going to be great. And I think we need to buy one of those window cleaning poles because I can't reach them. Gillian and I have been milling up some posts and boards for a retaining wall around the workshop, and we have to do that to be a nice pathway around the workshop for starters, and it's also for safety for the team to walk around and build the frame. It's a stick-built frame, and it will soon require a single lift of scaffolding all around, so we need a good base for that too. So these are all milled from spruce that was knocked down at Storm Arwen, so it's about 4.5 years old, so it's drying out nicely. So the posts will have points on them. We're going to whack them into the ground, but firstly we're going to burn the ends, and we're also going to treat them with a pine tar. So I need to build a pine tar station. We do have a lot of stumps on this site, and we're going to get rid of most of them through the biomass route, but some of them we're going to chop up and process in a pine tar oven, which is basically an oil drum and some other stuff. So I need to build that, and we're going to extract the pine tar, which is just the resin. And that pine tar, if we mix it with, I think, linseed oil, there's loads of stuff on YouTube about it, to thin it out, it should add decades to these timbers, which is fantastic, because we're also going to apply that process to all the cladding, all the scorched cladding anywhere on the outside of the house. So it's a bit of a learning curve building this thing and trying it out, but I think it'll work. These are the 2 oil drums that we found on site. They were filled with used engine oil, which was not very nice. So got rid of that in a responsible way, and so I'm just cleaning these out now, and I'm going to burn the inside, clean it up, and build a pine tar oven.